Jessica's big little playground of possibilities. Let's go now and meet her family. Her best pals keep her company. She's Jessica's big little world. Play and dream. All we can should be. Can do anything. Jessica's big little world.
I can't tell you how much fun it is to watch a show, and it doesn't matter what age you are at, it just like makes you feel, and rich and colorful characters. There's also a message. So I guess we'll start at the top. I mean, Tiffany, you're the showrunner, you're co-creator. Lucia, you came from Craig of the Creek. How was it like transitioning from a show about Craig to the messages in Jessica's Big Little World?
Sure. I am very passionate about the work that Matt and Ben had invited us to do on Craig of the Creek. That was a very special experience, and doing focusing on Jessica, especially on Craig, was a really special experience. To break off and do Jessica's Big Little World was exciting and also scary to leave this very tight world that we had, but then it was an opportunity to expand that world and see what Jessica was about when she's not hanging out with Craig all the time. Also being able to encourage ourselves and viewers to have fun with Jessica as we were discovering what she's about. And she was already so fun, thanks to Lucia also voicing just wonderful voice work and lending so much of yourself to Jessica. It was so much fun hanging with Jessica on Craig, and then to hang with her on the Jessica show just revealed this amazing adventure of just even more fun and more compassion and more joy that it was awesome.
Well, Miss Cunningham, how much of yourself did you bring to the character? What did you get to? There's an expression when directors aren't supposed to work with kids, but as a kid actor, did they ever tell you not to work with adults? And what did you bring to the table from your own personality?
Well, there's kind of two sides. I can definitely have a calmer, totally chilled out, quiet side, and then there's the other side that's like, look at me, I'm crazy, I'm gonna say all this crazy stuff and be super funny. And I feel like I was able to be myself with Jessica, but kicking it up a notch, being myself plus 100%. And I can also see some of my younger sister Liliana in her, because my sister, she's super funny and energetic. She has such creativity and a great imagination. I feel like I can see both of us in this character, which makes me feel really great to feel represented in this character that I love so much.
Well, Matt and Ben, how do you guys forecast the show? How do you look forward to the overall picture? How do you bring in Lucia and the other great actors, and just how do you craft a TV show over the course of how many episodes there is?
Well, I think that the world of Craig was really, built by the crew. I think that when we had the initial idea and we hired lots of folks who we were lucky enough, they brought their sort of stories and feelings and memories to the show. And Tiffany brought so much to create Jessica and create this really rich world for her. That's why this spinoff was able to happen, because on Craig, she was a really fully fleshed out person. And that was because Tiffany brought so much ideas and energy to her. And Lucia as well. Lucia, we have a script when we record the show, but Lucia can improvise very well and will make up lines. And sometimes she will, when we're recording, you will sometimes just say something afterwards, like how you would react. You would just kind of, and then we'd say, oh, can you just say that again? Just, you would, you're great. But yeah, creating this world was just a group effort.
Yeah, it's maybe not the hardest job, but the most important job is finding the team that's going to execute the show, and we look for collaborators who are really going to bring something to the show that Ben and I can't. You know, we work very closely together. We have sort of a shared sensibility, but you know, we're making a show for potentially millions of kids, and we're trying to make sure that we're telling stories from all angles and all perspectives, that everyone who watches it will be able to pick something out of there that's like super specific, that either like if they're young kids, that's something they're going through right now, or if they're a parent or older sibling watching it with a younger sibling, it's triggering that memory of like, oh, I remember when I used to do that, I remember when, you know. So I mean, yeah, that's just really how we manage all of it. It's just assembling a team that's passionate about what we're doing and like excited to put themselves into it.
And I think one of the key focus groups or groups that you're targeting is, you know, people who have shared experiences. You know, this isn't a class about geography or math. I mean, I was hooked on the very first episode, the bedtime routine. Bonnet, brush, and go to the bathroom. And I have the same problem with my daughter. I was like, how difficult is it to put your pajamas on, brush your teeth, and go to bed? It's the same thing the last 3 years in a row. So I love that you're actually speaking on their level, but also giving kids like role models too. They look at their siblings and adults and parents as role models. So I love all the themes and tones.
I don't want you to worry, girl. This song will take us there. Are you ready? Here we go. Bonnet on my head, toothbrush on my teeth. You know I can't forget to party before I sleep. I'm talking bonnet brush, flush, bonnet brush, flush, bonnet brush, flush, bonnet brush, flush.
Lucia, how do you do a noodle dance? Next time I go to the grocery store and I become friends with somebody in an aisle, I want to know the right way to like move my legs and arms in a noodle capacity. Any tips?
I guess you would probably just gotta go with the flow. You can't just like, it's not a robot. There's no such thing as a robot noodle. It can't be just like super exact. You gotta just like flow with it, you know? You're a noodle.
Oh, great. So the other thing I'm curious about is like, who are some of your role models individually? Who have you been able to either cherry pick memories from or just lean on to the point where they help you in your creative struggles, whether it's a show or day-to-day life?
Definitely my mom and my dad, obviously. My best friend Ivy, I've always looked up to her. She's just like a big sister to me, like, cause she's 2 years older, so not that much, but still, like, I'm gonna be like that when I'm older. I want to be like that. My fourth grade teacher, Miss Tavel, she was one of my favorite teachers I've ever had. She was so energetic and she had so much fun. She made me excited to like be there every day. And she just encouraged all of us to shine your light, we all have a special purpose in life. And, you know, just be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and have fun.
Well, that's beautiful. And you know, I love the outro song. I'm a big kid, I can do it. It's just so simple. It tells the whole story of the show. Tiffany, what was your "I'm a big kid, I can do it" moment? What was your biggest hurdle to overcome in your professional career?
I was about to say in my life.
Yeah, big picture here. Big picture.
Oh yeah, right. I'm so happy that you enjoyed that song. All of our music and the theme and song in particular, by the way, was composed and performed by Grace Hayes. So I'm just so glad that you connected with that. A hurdle, I think a challenge that I had to overcome, or like perhaps maybe try to master in my professional career, is that so much to what Lucia is saying, that the person that I am is enough to do what I want to do. I think that I look up so much to the other people around me, and you can't be those other people. So obviously I could have been in a headspace at one point where I was thinking I can never be where they're at because I cannot be like this person. And then to let go of that and say that the all of these aspects about myself that are so different from these other people I admire, all of these aspects that I have are great, and it is okay to succeed with the tools that I have, and I did. And I think that coming out of different challenges, not like changing my core self, was so empowering. But also, of course, allowing myself to change positively when people showed me how I could be better or more kind. Seeing that I was also able to change in a positive way was like really cool.
I love that. I love that. And change is necessary to grow. Change is, to show about a little girl who's coming into her own via imagination and fantasy, but also, again, real world examples. Matt, Ben, can you tell me about a time when you're crafting the show? Like, the show has so many different styles. Can you talk about maybe crafting things like what references and anime you pulled from and what were stylistically you were trying to go for?
I think a lot of the credit goes to our design team on that, led by our amazing art director Benjamin Anders, who we had worked with as a design supervisor on Craig of the Creek. He, he really took what the look was for Craig and crafted something that was soft and inviting for a younger audience. I feel like Tiffany can honestly speak more about like some of that, but it was those folks, Nick Wynn, our character designer, and Santino Waxano, who was our background supervisor designer. Yeah, I don't know, Tiffany, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I'm so happy that you mentioned those folks, Benjamin, Nick, and Santino, because they together created this very special look and world and feeling to the show. When I discussed the look of the show with them, my goal and what they then like elevated and brought to the table, right? And blew us all away. My goal was that you would look at Jessica's world and see the magic that is in our everyday space. Craig goes to the creek. That is a wonderful world of exploration. This is where his magical space is, his safe space. Jessica is not big enough to go there by herself. Her safe space is at home, at the grocery store with her parents. So we wanted to create this sense of magic and also communicate that this space that you have is totally wonderful and special. And also on like a nerdy sort of angle, we wanted to create these visuals so that when you look at any part of our screen, of the scene, you can see evidences of where Jessica was, or evidences of like maybe opportunities of where you could go behind the couch, under this area. You can look on the shelf. There are opportunities for play on the shelf. We won't see that this episode, but can you imagine perhaps yesterday Jessica was over there playing? I can talk so much about that. I'm very passionate about how our show looks.
No, please keep going. We don't have anything else to do. Let's just talk about Jessica's Big Little World. Lucia, do you have a favorite episode or favorite moment of recording the show? And were there certain topics that you were happy that were talked about, whether it's dreams or bicycle riding, or I don't know, I've only seen 3 episodes so far. Are there things you're excited about?
My favorite episode is the one where Jessica learns to ride her bike, because I remember what it was like when my mom was trying to teach me how to ride my bike. I learned how to ride it with the training wheel. I never had a push bike, although that probably would have been awesome. I probably would have used it all the time. But I remember when I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad who had said, I think it's time for the training wheels to come off. I was like terrified. Like, no, I don't want to fall. I don't know how to ride it. And for Jessica to be able, you can't just get it right the first time. It's trial and error. So trying and trying, but that feeling when you eventually get it and you're like, hold on, I think we're on to something. I'm able to ride this bike now. And I think it was a really good, it's simple, but it also meant a lot.
I think that's a great one to go out on. Everyone, thanks for your time. Everyone, check out Jessica's Big Little World, and we're gonna go out with a little noodle dance. Everybody, noodle it up, noodle it up.
Hey.
A new preschool show from the world of Craig of the Creek.
Jessica's big little world.
Jessica may look like a little kid.
But what I'm trying to say is, she's a great little kid. Little kid.
You're not small, you're huge.
But she's gonna be big.
I can handle it. I'm ready to be a big kid. See?
She's got a big imagination.
Hey, I look good when I'm big.
We sure do, honey.
To help her navigate her big world.
The big kid playground. Come on!
She's got this.
Big kid time, Jessica. Yeah!
And when she doesn't, her friends and family are there to help.
Sometimes being a big kid just means finding another way.
That's my girl.
I'm proud of you.
I don't want to be small Jessica anymore. I want to be big Jessica.
She won't be small for long. Jessica's Big Little World. New show starting Monday, October 2nd at 8 on your Cartoon Network.